I'm hungry than a bitch. Let me see what they got in this bitch. Oh, shit. Motherfucking Cuban sandwich. Bitch, do I look Cuban to you? I want a sandwich. Face. A motherfucking sandwich. Face.
Hey everyone, Sandwichface here, and I'm back from my long and well-deserved rest. It's about time I got back to making videos, and without the funny blue hedgehog game to use for content, I'm going to be starting from scratch. So, it's time to talk about Ultraman, like I've wanted to do for a while now. But not just any Ultraman though, as not too long ago Tsuburaya Productions began airing the latest entry in the Ultra series, Ultraman Arc. At the time of recording this voiceover, only the first and second episodes are out, but the whole series will probably be a little over 20 episodes long. I'll do a review of the whole series when it wraps up either later this year or early next year, but for now I've decided to make this video about my first impressions of the series, and whether I think it's Kino or just mid. So without further ado, let's get into my first impressions of Ultraman Arc. So to start things off, episode 1, titled Arc to the Future, starts off with this really neat POV shot footage of a fight between Ultraman Arc and a kaiju that kinda resembles Zeton. It looks like it's being shot from a cell phone, and that alone is pretty cool. Additionally, this first episode isn't actually the first time the show's host transforms into Ultraman Arc, as previous fights with Gomora and Red King are shown briefly as well. These shots are used to set up the premise for the series, where Hoshimoto City has regularly been plagued with kaiju attacks since an event called K-Day took place 16 years prior to the start of the series. But what I especially love about this opening is that the episode title cards are a clear homage to the ones in Return of Ultraman, as Return is one of my favorite Ultra series, period. But enough about the opening, let's talk about the characters of Ultraman Arc. The main characters of Ultraman Arc are the members of SCIP, or Scientific Kaiju Investigation and Prevention Center. It consists of Hiroshi Ban, the leader of the team, Rin Natsume, a genius mechanic and engineer, Shu Ishido, a special investigator assigned to the team by the GDF, and Yuma Hise, the plucky young protagonist who's the human host of Ultraman Arc. Additionally, there's Yuppie, who's sort of a support robot for the team who can split into two halves named U-Bot and P-Body. He's also sort of a mascot character for the team, and while I'm not entirely a fan of his goofier side, he does noticeably help the team in some situations, especially in episode 2, but I'll cover that when we get there. Unlike the Showa and Heisei series, but more in line with the New Gen series, SCIP isn't really a full-on attack team with a huge arsenal of weapons, but rather is more focused on researching kaiju and developing preventative measures for them. This is to be expected from the somewhat lower budget New Gen series, but I do like this take on the idea, and the smaller cast makes the individual members of the team stand out better. It doesn't have the problems I have with the later Showa series, where they keep making the attack team bigger, without really developing any of their members. This is especially an Ultraman Taro and Leo thing, and I'll talk about it more when I cover them at a later date. The first episode puts a lot of focus on this mysterious object called the Monohorn. There's an air of mystery around it, and it seems to have some connection with the kaiju that will be appearing throughout the rest of the series. Additionally, the GDF seems intent on keeping it around for reasons that have not yet been explained. But besides all that, it's a pretty cool set piece, and the shots of characters standing below and next to it are very well done. However, in this episode, the Monohorn seems to be housing a kaiju of its own, a small red parasitic creature named Uze. The idea of a parasitic kaiju isn't the most original thing in the world, but I really love the way that Uze are shot, especially this POV shot of the Uze burrowing into the ground and taking control of the true kaiju star of this episode, Shagong. Shagong is a really awesome kaiju design. He's big, bulky, scary, and also a little goofy. He's got a long, extendable neck and the ability to spit this bluish-green acid from his mouth. He's a pretty good first opponent for Ultraman Arc, and you gotta respect that. Speaking of Ultraman Arc, his presentation in this episode is fucking incredible. His transformation sequence is absolutely incredible, and I especially love this shot of Arc wrapping his arms around Yuma like this. Although I will say it's a bit of a lengthy sequence overall, probably just for the sake of selling the transformation device to Japanese kids, but I do wonder when it would be inconvenient to have such a weirdly specific way of transforming into Ultraman. I loved Ultraman Arc's battle against Shagong. The way it's minimally edited to look like a continuous shot of a battle is really cool, and the unique choreography all around is just really neat. Ever wanted to watch an Ultra beat a kaiju with a glass shield and then break it in half and stab them with it? Well, now you can! Finally, this finisher is just fucking awesome, just watch it. If there's anything I didn't like about this episode, it's this weird joke about coffee that shows up around midway through the episode. Maybe it's just a bit of Japanese humor that's completely lost on me, but the joke didn't really hit the mark, and it kinda stopped the episode for a little longer than it should have. But besides that, this was a fantastic first episode for the series, and I can't wait to see more. Oh wait, I already have, because now it's time to talk about Episode 2. Episode 2 of Ultraman Arc is called Legend in the Woods, and this episode starts right where the last one ended, which I thought was kind of interesting. The story revolves around a boy calling Skip about a construction site his father is working at, as he believes a legend about a kaiju called Leodo buried under the forest. Ancient kaiju at construction site and father-son drama are definitely not new concepts of the Ultra series, but it's the way this episode presents these concepts that still makes it feel fresh and interesting. I also like how this episode demonstrates that Arc has other ways of helping Yuma beyond giving him the ability to transform, like in this scene where he points out this jar of dubious brown orbs. Well, actually, those brown orbs are a food made of over 80 different herbs meant to subdue the main threat of this episode, the ancient kaiju Leodo. Leodo is a really cool kaiju design with the ability to shoot flammable mud and use his elephant-like trunk as a vacuum to suck things up. He's pretty cool all around, but I can't help but notice that his suit seems to be repurposed from a previous Black King suit. But his battle with Ultraman Arc is easily the highlight of this episode. I just love how uniquely this fight sequence is presented. The way the camera shows the POV of both Arc and Leodo. The way the camera is almost always moving and keeps everything quick and dynamic. And this shot of Leodo's mud combusting around Arc as he poses with his sword. Fucking incredible. Additionally, Leodo's suit actor did a fantastic job giving the kaiju some personality and really makes him feel like he was ripped right out of the Showa era. Also, remember how I said Yuppie helps out Skip immensely in this episode? Well, that's because he feeds the jar of dubious brown orbs to Leodo, which weakens him enough to where Ultraman Arc can finish him off by fighting him while falling down a giant hole. That is peak right there. And that's all I really have to say about Episode 2. Not as much as Episode 1, I know, but that doesn't mean I didn't love it as much as Episode 1. In fact, I personally think Episode 2 was better than Episode 1. But overall, at the present moment, Ultraman Arc is pure Ultraman Kino. I love how it's shot, I love all the new kaiju, and frankly it's just some damn good tokusatsu action. I really can't wait to watch the rest of the series, as I'm hoping it'll be just as good as these first 2 episodes. Well, that'll be it for this video. Honestly, this makes me more glad than ever that I'm done talking about whatever that game with the blue rodent was called. I don't really remember. Was it like Sarby 2 or something? I don't know, it was weird or some stupid shit like that. But anyways, I really enjoyed making this video, and talking about something as awesome as Ultraman Arc. But, as always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and don't forget to join the Sandwich Face Discord linked in the description down below. Well, I'm off to finish the last 3 episodes of Ultraman Taro so I can write a full review on it. See you later!